A very good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to bring to you the spotlight session on positive workspaces powered by technology in collaboration with Oracle. I'm Nitya Vijay Kumar from Knowledge and Advisory Services at SHRM. Joining me today to discuss how positive workspaces are powered by technology on this spotlight session is Mr. Prashant Rai, Senior Vice President, Arohan Financial Services. Prashant has close to 2 decades of experience in people practices and drives forward-thinking human capital strategies using technologies. A very warm welcome to you, Prashant.
Thanks, Nitya.
Also joining on the spotlight session is Mr. Anuj Gupta, Director Sales HCM from Oracle. Anuj has over 22 years of experience in technology, global companies that includes Microsoft, Salesforce, etc. At present, as we mentioned, he is Director Oracle for Enterprise Accounts in North and West. A very warm welcome to you, Anuj.
Thank you, Nitya.
Lovely. On that note, gentlemen, let me quickly get on to the top 3 most crucial employee touch points in your view, Prashant, that specifically impacts, especially when it concerns your industry. What do you think are the 3 most crucial employee touch points?
Thanks, Nitya. So I think in my industry, I come from a BFSI industry. So in that, the most important touch points from an employee perspective is one is definitely when it comes to recruitment. The recruitment is the most important aspect, which is today, as a matter of fact, employees rather go to, Glassdoors and they go to LinkedIn to basically check out what the organization is all about and how they are doing. So, creating that right kind of employee branding, the right kind of employee presence is very important for us. And I think that's one aspect which I say is one very important touch point which is there. Having said that, the other aspect which is internal in nature, one is definitely when it comes to employee surveys and, trying to really find out, because it's very important to know the customer's voice, as they say. For an organization as well, it's very important today to really keep your ears on the ground, to really understand what is happening on the employee side and trying to find out what is there. The third, I think, important aspect is also, trying to be able to understand from an organization perspective, what are the kind of risks that we could mitigate through technology when it comes to employee side. And one of the most important aspect I could see is definitely on the predictive side of, the predictive analytics type, where we could see basically how employees are operating, what are some of their touch points, what are some of their trails that they're leaving, and whether that could in turn predict and help the organization predict in terms of his stickiness and his, continuity and longevity in the organization. So those are certain things I feel where technology would help a lot organizations to basically find out, how to be more effective when it comes to employee practices.
Thank you, Prashant, for those inputs. Anuj, I'm going to jump to you for someone who's been in this space for quite some time and worked with multiple clients. You understand that, while employee experience is all about touch points, technology can be a great enabler. So how do you think one can leverage technology for a heightened employee experience?
Thank you, Nitya, for asking this question. In fact, I was hearing what Prashant said, and it was like a music to my ears. Because if you ask me, it very well aligns and augur with what we have been doing in technology space in Oracle HCM side. In fact, while there are many things coming in my mind, but I will just pick 2 things what Prashant talked about. One was around the predictive, analysis or parameters which can help organization to come to know of any abnormality or any aberration which is there on which the organization can take the corrective action. Related to touch point, I also want to talk about one thing, Nitya, that, our younger generation, millennials who are getting into the job are used to work on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and all, which are highly intuitive application. And their expectation when they join the organization is to have the same sort of experience from the enterprise application. And when it comes to finding out the information, they don't want to go into finding a command, learning a command or finding the buttons and all. So Oracle provides an embedded Oracle digital assistant wherein employee doesn't have to remember any button or anything to get to know of any information. They just have to use voice as a command to get that information. So these are the two things which are on top of my mind, which are coming. While on survey side also, we have been providing the touch points, which helps the organization in taking the corrective action. But I know that will be too much to talk. So back to you, Nitya.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anuj. Prashant, I'm coming back to you. You have been driving, people practices strategy through technology. You yourself are a technology enthusiast. Tell me when, implementing some of these, employee strategies, what are some of the challenges, or, maybe success stories or imperatives that comes to your mind in the current scenario?
So I think COVID did teach us a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I would say COVID actually accelerated a lot of technology interventions that could happen in an organization. And one of the biggest, I think, advantage which would have happened for an organization is the change in the mindset itself. Whereas if you look at it from a challenges perspective, I would say, post-COVID, if you actually look at it, there is a pent-up demand which is also there in terms of talent. So one of the big challenges has been, retention of our talent in the organization. The other part of it, which going forward, I think the challenges would be in terms of two aspects. One is, working and surviving, or rather, adapting to the hybrid working environment, which is there, which is going to stay. And third, I think would be in terms of also, the different demographics which are there and the kind of people who are there from different generations who would be working in the same workspace. And I'm sure in that respect, technology will play a big role in terms of binding people together. Right. As a matter of fact, today I keep saying this. Geography is history today. Actually, so there is no boundaries which are there.
Absolutely. So well said. Sure. Thank you so much for that, Prashant. Anuj, quickly, top 10 seconds for you. Any top of the mind thoughts?
I believe openness to change is the biggest imperative to make any employee experience strategy successful. And second, I'll say commitment from the top, because these projects are usually neither IT project nor business project, but enterprise project. So these are the two things I'll say: commit from the top and openness to change.
Thank you so much, Anuj. All right. So that brings us to the end of this spotlight session. Very clearly, dynamic times ahead, challenging times ahead, but look no further. Technology is here to support. Even before you anticipate a challenge, we have predict analytics to actually, predict those challenges coming your way. Wonderful session, gentlemen. Thank you so very much for your inputs.